Easter egg on it. Let's bring out the big boys. Feminine shaker bottle, right? Whew. My Google Maps is slowly disappearing. Okay guys, welcome. We're at the office. We're gonna unload some goodies from for the Mana event. So the previous training was a push day, so I think we're gonna make a nice pull day today. And I have a lot of tips, so I'm gonna share those with you. So I'm one of those people. If I have anything to carry, I just carry everything at once. Okay, so we are doing the Mana event, and that's next week. We're gonna do that on Saturday. A lot of merchandise, small bottles, water bottles, tote bags. And there's a little Easter egg on it, right there. So the coordinates of the location of our next event. If you guys can decipher that. It's not going to be in the Netherlands, that's what I can tell you for sure. For now I have to send a couple mails. I'm going to do that now quickly. We got some mindset things I want to share with you guys afterwards. Actual office. Downstairs was the meeting room. This is the office where I usually work. So we're gathering all the stuff for the event. As I mentioned, we got the shaker bottles and caps and all other stuff. It's clean. Still waiting on the banner. Just show you guys, we also made a banner and still waiting on that one. And if we have that, then we're complete. It's a pretty feminine shaker bottle, right? Okay guys, we're back. We're gonna do a pull session today. We're gonna do a pull down, dumbbell row, reverse grip machine pull down, wide grip row, without flies, and straight on push down. So yep. What I always use on the pull day is straps. And yeah, for me, I'm a pretty arm dominant, so if I do a pull, my arms will give in. So I always use these straps. These are the Chic dowel straps. So there's a little plastic thing at the end, so it locks the weight in place. It's really nice to do your pull days with. So if you see this angle here, I got this in a slight incline. In that position I can keep my chest a bit higher, and for me I can squeeze my back a bit better. Instead of going that way, there's a lot of pressure also in my shoulder because of the weight. So let's put it like this, back, my weight is a bit transferred to the back, and I can really squeeze my lat perfectly. Whew. Feels good. Tip on the dumbbell rows. I see a lot of people standing too close to the bench. And you see this hip is towards the ceiling, and I want this hip to be balanced out, an even hip. So my lat insertion is balanced here. So I'm not going down in this motion, I'm going a bit in as well. So in this motion I got a bit more stretch in the bottom position, and I row it out. So in, out. Let's bring out the big boys. So this gym only has 60s, which to be honest, is a bit light for me now in this rep range, 6 to 8. So really try to control it and just slowly squeezing it on the way up. Really let my lat do all the work and not jamming it up or using any momentum. Try to get the last one for 12, guys. Feels good, pretty strong today. It's the second time I'm pretty strong with you guys here, so that's good. Let's keep that momentum. Guys, there's a tip. So all these cable stations, or like pull down stations, got a lot of like hooks and everything like in between, and it diminishes your like range of motion. So I always do is get the shit out of it. So now I have all full range of motion, and otherwise like the weights touch each other here already, and I can't stretch my full back, and now I can go all full range. By doing my pull downs, like what I still see is first movement people make is momentum. So they swing it and afterwards like they row it in, but the weight is already moving, so that's way easier to do it. So just try to focus on real lat stretch, lat connection, squeeze, pull. And if you see it like it looks like that, I'm not finishing the whole movement. So this is my max range, because if I go further, look at my shoulders. They cave in. So this is a lot of traps, and I just want to focus like on lats, rhomboids, and that's it. So last week I did 3 sets with 110 at 12. So I decided to move up in weight today. So I did 115s. First set felt really good. Did 10. After that I did 8. RP around 7 to 8, so it was really good. Guys, this is it's not sponsored. It's the Angle 90 grips. So I use this. I just put it right there, and it looks like these bands gonna snap. But they're actually pretty strong. Like I had 200 kilos on it. So now I can tilt my palm a bit in, and I can really squeeze my lat. So it's a bit of an isolateral row. And if I do it like in overhand position, it's still lats, but it's a lot of upper back. And now I can squeeze it in much better. So important tip on training back, especially back, is it's actually pretty hard to squeeze and like feel lats. You have to have a couple of years of training under your belt to really feel your back properly. But what I always suggest is, obviously, before making any weight progress, try to optimize squeezing your back, like really try to focus on that mind-muscle connection first, and then progressively overload, and don't try to trick that system and do the other way around. But besides that, if you see me or somebody else who is more experienced doing exercise for back with bad form, like on paper bad form, it could be that we can squeeze our back in that particular position way better than like in the optimal normal position. So I always suggest do as I say and not try to imitate me or somebody else, for example, because it's really from person to person. There's a lot of small things that could be different for somebody who's just start training and somebody's really experienced. So quick change. I was like sweating insanely, so got my tank top out. Next up, guys, it's plate loaded row. I do this in a specific way. I angle my body position a bit differently. So normally it will be there, like you sitting just straight up, but now I'm gonna angle myself a bit. Let's say 15-degree angle, so my stretch is all the way there. And also, if I do my right arm, I put my right foot forward. If I put this foot here, then I can like use a bit more momentum. And if I do this, then I lock myself more in place. So it will be a bit more stretch on my back and a bit less momentum. So a tip for training back is attack it from different angles. So for example, if you do this movement and afterwards you do a cable row, which is a bit in the same pattern, I try to always like switch up the patterns. So if you're doing pull-ups, pull-downs, small grip pull-downs, you're doing a lot of like the same angles, the same patterns over and over again. Try to switch it up. Okay, gonna do rear delt flies. I do that chest supported. Well, actually head supported, so I put my head against the bench. So an important thing to do with the readout flies, I did the same for the side lateral raises. I put the cuff right on the cable, not on the end, to get a bit more range of motion. Show you guys. If you look at my wrist now, this is all the range of motion I have now. So I can go all the way in. Put this one straight. So keep my head forward. Straighten out my triceps. Squeeze my hands, open up my hands, squeeze it, and I try to align my hands, my elbows on my shoulder height. So not lower, not higher. Get more traps. I just want to try to hit readouts. Next up we do bicep curls. And I'm not gonna swing anything or whatever. So I put this hand right there. I put my elbow there on the pad and I keep it right there. And I try to transfer my weight a bit forward. So this way, this is all biceps. If I transfer my weight backwards, there's a lot of momentum involved. And I just wanna really optimize pure bicep stretch and squeezing. So that's why I try to transfer my weight a bit forward. My Google Maps is slowly disappearing. So the third tip for this pull day is the volume management and intensity. So I see a lot of people not training with proper volume. They're just doing it, something, and not like really calculating or tracking anything. Then the motivation drops and whatever. So advice, track your progress, like really use a notepad or use an app or whatever. There are also people in the gym who don't have an optimal plan or whatever, but they train really, really hard. And those people get like 90% of the benefits from training. So combine those two things. So if you're only like tracking and try to optimize everything or whatever, and you're skipping the hard work, you're not gonna make it. So really focusing on like layering those two things, training intensity, tracking your shit, tracking your progress. That's the most bang for your buck. Last exercise is gonna be a straight arm push down, which is focusing on the lats, and it's actually a pretty difficult exercise to do for people. Most important thing, if you're in this position, like try to find your range where you can keep a bit tension on your lats. Shoulder retraction there, and try to pull through my lats, and that's it. Okay guys, we did the pull day today, and last time you guys were, we did the push session and it was pretty strong, and today was the same, so let's keep that streak. For the next episodes I will be doing a bit more about nutrition as well, supplements and some other personal things. So if you guys have anything like training related or nutrition related, you want to ask me anything, just drop a comment and I will respond to that. For now, thank you guys for watching. Up to the next episodes. Ciao.